then the largest man they've ever seen gets out of the back. We're like a circus act.
It's early one Saturday morning. We have plans to cruise around Tokyo. I'm not gonna get further into that, but what I am gonna get into is some of this shio pan over here. Shio meaning salt and pan meaning bread. Salty bread. Usually at bakeries, they will have shio pan, and it tends to be one of the cheapest breads that they have. This place is actually known for its shio pan, and it's right down the street from our house. I cannot even express to you the smell and how far the smell, like the diameter of the smell. It smells amazing. I don't know, salty bread is just delicious, and I gotta get some. I can solidly say I've been waiting to eat this bread for the last adventure, at least since November. It is now January, so this is a 3-month waiting to eat that bread. Oh, it's warm. And there's lines usually at this place because it has been on television and it's quite famous, but those lines don't usually start until around 10 o'clock when people actually leave the house. So we're pretty lucky to live right down the street from it and get the 8 o'clock jams with no lines. It had a hole here, and when I bit into it, it felt like it was breathing on my mouth. I got a Tuk-Tuk! Woo!
Okay, so we got our wheels here. How you doing?
This is an intense moment. And you decided to put the camera right in front of me during that moment. This is my first time on the road. There are more cars than just me. I'm gonna go straight.
So this is what we're gonna cruise in today. We got us a little tuk-tuk.
I found out this can go up to 80 kilometers an hour.
No way.
Highway ready. No joke.
You must have said 8 kilometers an hour. I think that's our top speed.
Bye. Are you gonna get in or out?
I just ride along the side. Today's basic plan is that we have a tuk-tuk. That's the plan. And we were thinking about just driving around Tokyo and hitting up different landmarks and stuff. And we've come to our first landmark, and where there it is. It's big, it's hard to miss. The Sky Tree. And I don't know, it just gives us the opportunity to just cruise around. We have the thing for 12 hours. It took her about maybe 45 minutes, I think, from the time we were to pick it up to like the time we were leaving, because they were explaining how to drive it and everything, because it's not a normal car.
It is not. It is not a normal car. There's not a steering wheel in there. There's a handlebar.
But you can drive it with just a regular driver's license, which kind of surprises me that you don't need a special motorcycle license or something like that.
I don't wonder. I think they'd be honest with us, but I think that they don't realize that like people who haven't done a manual or been on a bike or done anything of this sort would be kind of like, what? Yeah, it's a bit strange, but challenging.
We've driven it for maybe 30 minutes or something like that, and we're going to give you a tour of everything we know about the tuk-tuk. And I think Katie might have named it already, but she hasn't told me. She's like being sly about it.
I don't know if that name is appropriate, so I'm going to keep it to myself. We're going to ride around for a little bit more, and then maybe a name will happen. But I want to start on the outside because I feel like we got plopped right into the inside. First off, the handle, you want to push it down or pull it out, not up. Up is the way that you go. And it scratches the door all the time.
Yeah, look at how the mechanism works on the inside. Go ahead and close it.
It locks in like that, so when you do it like this.
This is just really, really low-tech stuff.
Got little wheels. Little wheels.
Does it feel like it's gonna tip over when we go around corners to you? Because it does to me.
When I was in high school, everybody was like souping up their cars. Like all the dudes that I knew were like putting like bigger rims on their cars, and we just went around talking about the little wheels on my cars, calling them tins. All right, we haven't played around with any of this. It has a key there, and they didn't tell us anything about this area, so I think we won't go in there, but we will talk.
That's the engine, dude.
Don't
Come here,
touch.
look at these intake valves here.
Oh, it's actually quite warm.
But they're like faced the direction to pull air in.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're rolling on 10s.
Yeah, you were rolling on 10. You like that now? I like never told you about that. Okay, but I like our license plate. A 5, 6, 7. Yeah. How'd they do that? That's a good license plate. And over here, doorknob feature number 2. This one's a little looser, so it falls down on its own. But not in a bad way, like in a... I won't go through it again. Not in a bad way. I don't want to shit on this because it's pretty amazing. That's all the things. The gasoline's in here, and inside there's another key. You need a key to get to the key that gets to the gas.
Does it look like the top comes off to you? I haven't investigated that.
It's been bolted in, but I think that some of them can be taken off, but this is definitely bolted in. I guess you could unbolt it. There's only one wheel. 2 lights. I honestly thought it was just going to be 1 light, and I'm kind of surprised looking out here that it's 2.
Look at this, the fancy one.
1 windshield wiper. Do you think they buy 2? Do they usually come in pairs or no? No, because like cars have the different sizes.
Show the driving situation.
More intake.
Oh yeah, hey, look at that. Maybe that's where the motor is. Is it hot where you're sitting?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not hot where I'm sitting. This is the gas. These are the brake.
Oh wait, it's on the foot too? It's the same. Is it the same thing? Does it move both?
Yeah. It doesn't move both, but they both do the same thing.
Okay. I'll come
light
around.
Switches. Turning signals, headlights. This is how fast you're going. This tells you what gear you're in because yes, it is geared. They say it's automatic, but I'm doing a lot of manual shit up here. Fuel, temperature, hope that doesn't go badly. This was fun when she did it.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, it's not on. Ah, turn it on. Now it's on. I don't want to. My favorite part, the most antiquated part that she showed us was, you want to get in reverse? This is how you get in reverse. It's in reverse now.
It's got like a fake wooden handle and everything.
Yeah. And then you just shove it back in and hopefully we'll be going forward when we go.
And this is just a parking brake down here?
Yeah, and that's the parking brake. The big yellow light here tells me that the parking brake is on. And that my turning signal is on as well. We've been turning right for about 30 minutes now.
So we just spent like 15 minutes trying to figure out how to hook cameras to this thing, and it's really not that easy. There's not a lot of like solid anchor points because not much about this is solid feeling to be completely real. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of do it like this. I'm gonna hold the camera out and put it on a tripod, and then Katie's gonna give us...
Is this GoPro going?
Oh, it's not going yet. I can turn it on though. I think that you just hold a button down and then you can get it rolling. And so now Katie can give us some explanations as to what's going to happen while we're driving. I think, what does that mean? Okay, now we're going. You got multiple angles now.
Yes, so the step-by-step is 1, turn on with the key. Step number 2, take off the parking brake. The light goes off. I like that light. So I think I'm gonna forget that the parking brake's on because I like it. I don't think you need to actually press the brake or anything when you tell it to turn on with the red lightning button.
Probably should though.
All right, I'll do that.
If it's in first gear.
You can't really tell once it's flipped it over. You just kind of go, all right, I think it'll keep going. Then you gotta check if you're in first, but I'm actually in second. So I'm gonna pop it back into first. And then you sit here and think, have I fucked this up? I do that good 30 seconds. Am I ready for launch? And it looks like I'm ready for launch. I gotta check my behind me. I see some people are walking there, so I'm gonna kind of let them
And you
get
gotta be
out of my way.
You gotta be careful with the people because they can move faster than you can move.
Yeah.
but
they can get a lot more hurt from whatever I do.
You don't want one snooping up on you by accident.
Yeah. Okay, so we're in first and we're ready to move. And now we're at a stop.
That was exciting.
It was. We got a small child. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna take her out on the open. No, you're not. There's so many bikes coming. That kid is surprised by the car. Son of a bitch.
There's a Ferrari right there, and he's not the most impressive vehicle around.
Take that, Ferrari.
My favorite part about this experience is when people see that there's a tuk-tuk, they're like kind of surprised, like, "Whoa, there's a tuk-tuk." This is not normal in like Japan at all.
My least excited part about that is they see a tuk-tuk and then they walk slower in front of the tuk-tuk. What are they doing?
And then after they've processed it, oh my god, that's a tuk-tuk, they go, oh my god, that's a white girl driving that tuk-tuk. None of this makes sense. We realized that a tuk-tuk is a pretty good surprise for some friends, so we dropped by one of our friends and we were like, yo, you need to come outside right now.
She was like, I'm in my pajamas, and Eric said, it's worth it.
So she came out and we gave her a ride around the block, and now we are headed down into the Odaiba area of Tokyo, which is kind of the southern part of the main part of the city.
You are on my hair.
I was like leaning on it, my bad.
Amazingly easy. The pedal is quite floppy. It goes back left and right. When you want to go to a higher gear, you have to push down, which is counteractive to thinking that you need to go up in gears. I got to go down in gears now.
But so you have to pull up.
Yeah, so I'm now pulling up on it because I want to go down in gears.
It kind of acts like one of those scooters from Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
Like that's sort of how the gear shift seems like it looks. Only this one looks like it's about to fall off.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, I don't know if that's supposed to be like that or normal or whatever. It also has a back pedal that you can just like slam back. And I think they put that there because people got tired of pulling up with their toes.
It's so if you're wearing flip-flops.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not joking.
So I've gotten used to the slamming it back. Oh, I slammed it too far back. I'm still working on getting the, understanding the flow of the engine. Like it getting up and then me shifting, and then it getting up and me shifting, and it getting up. We're starting to talk to each other.
We suddenly have access to places that we normally do not have access to because we normally don't have wheels, but now we've got wheels. And we are down kind of towards the Odaiba area that we have been headed, and we're in a park walking to see if we can get a cool view of a bridge.
It is definitely COVID abandoned.
Yeah, everything is because nobody in here.
Of it.
We're trying to wonder, like, are we not even supposed to be in here? But we didn't see any signs, but we kind of also climbed over a fence.
It wasn't a very security fence.
No, it wasn't. So the thing about this is we're like, look like we want to see this bridge before we go over it, but then we made.
What are you talking about before we go over it? We tried to.
We already
did twice.
But then we went over the bridge by accident. You know how that happens when you're driving? And then all of a sudden,
get sucked onto a bridge. Yeah.
That's the thing that happened. So we came back across the bridge. So we're gonna get to go over this bridge 3 times.
Yeah, it is the Tokyo Gate Bridge, and the reason that I was kind of attracted to going to this bridge, because we didn't have to fit this one into our day, is because when you go to London, you look at the Tower Bridge, which looks amazing, and a lot of people think it's the London Bridge.
Yeah.
But then you go over and the London Bridge looks like the 1980s. But here, we're going to the Tokyo Gate Bridge, and you would kind of think that maybe the Rainbow Bridge was called the Tokyo Bridge, but it's not called the Tokyo Bridge.
It's called the Rainbow
We're
Bridge.
We're going to see the Tokyo Gate Bridge.
Are you saying the Tokyo Gate Bridge is like a scrub bridge by the way it looks?
Oh, a bit of a scrub bridge.
I don't know,
I'd say
man.
like this is like
It's a good look.
minty. That is the Tokyo Gate Bridge. It doesn't look spectacular, but it has the name Tokyo in it, and we're about to go across it for the 3rd time. As you can tell, it's quite windy. A tuk-tuk, a bridge, and some wind.
It's like this up in there.
It's a little nerve-wracking. The first time that we went over it, I had to like pull over afterwards and just take a break. But now I'm starting to master bridges.
All right, so I don't fit in this thing at all. As you can see, this is not a thing that's happening. Like my knees are here, and this thing was hanging down. And I was like ripping it all up, so I stuffed it kind of in there because I don't want to hurt their stuff. And this door, I mean, it's a pretty small door. I can get in and out. I'm used to stuff like that. But we were curious, could I drive it if I had a license here? I don't have a license here, so I can't drive it. But could I physically drive this? And the answer is probably not. So my feet are now on the pedals. And the problem that we're gonna have here is the knees. And maybe, like my knees are stopping it. So if I was gonna be driving it, I'd be driving it like man-spreaded out, y'all. Like, if anybody in the back seat, they're gonna have a dank smell is all I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? So like this, maybe I'd be all right. But I don't feel safe doing this. This is not a vehicle for me. Did I go over the line with a dank smell thing?
Gigantic circle at this end of the Rainbow Bridge, and I used to work near here and watch the circle all day long. Now I'm riding it. Woo! Woo-hoo! Tokyo is pretty much known for the fact that there aren't very many trash cans anywhere, but it's quite a clean place. We have now found the largest trash can in Tokyo.
That's your big boy right there.
That is your standard big boy. Would you want to go first?
Thank you.
Our plan was to have tuk-tuk inspired food, which would be eating Indian or Thai food. And we managed to just pull around the corner and see a Indian shop that was selling lunches for 500 yen.
It's like crazy cheap. I mean, usually they're like, I don't know, 700 or 800 yen at a minimum. So if we got a little meal here, but it's not like they've thrown in a whole lot of like salads and yogurts and stuff. It's literally a curry and a naan. But
where's my lassie?
it feels bizarrely appropriate to be munching this type of cuisine and these types of wheels. And we are in a part of Tokyo, still we're in the southern part of Tokyo City, and there isn't a whole lot of stuff down here. It's all shipping containers. Yeah, immigration is down here. It's like a block away. But it's like shipping containers and things like that. But we do have a pretty dope view of the Rainbow Bridge that we just drove across. And we got some Indian food, so everything's good.
You know those movies where people are sitting and they're looking at the Brooklyn Bridge or one of those New York bridges, and they're in that little like path where no cars ever come and all the shady deals happen with the bridge in the background? That's where I feel like we're at right now.
You're doing a shady transaction with some curry. Okay, so you've now driven it for half the day, essentially. How's it going with the driving procedure? Like,
well, fourth gear can bite my ass. Fourth gear doesn't want to go into fifth when it needs to go into fifth, and it doesn't want to go down to third when it needs to go down to third. But overall, I'd say I've really gotten used to it, and it kind of just feels like you're riding a four-wheeler. with 3 wheels in the city. Like, just because when you do this, like, it reminds me of being a kid and riding 4-wheelers in the woods and stuff. So I would say overall it's fun. Eric asked me if this is like something you'd want to own, and I said no, because this is like just for shock value. I don't really see it like as
it's not practical, especially in Tokyo.
Yeah, like there's several seasons that this will work in, and you can't really take a whole lot with you because this stuff is fragile. So if you tried to fill this up with something, you're just gonna basically think about packing everything into this. Like that's utility to me. How much crap can I fit in this
I mean,
car?
you see things in Thailand or whatever, and they got like 17 people and a baby, and the baby's driving, and somebody's smoking a cigarette, and there's a dog and a goat. You know what I'm saying?
Dog's driving.
I want to talk about this a little more. We mentioned it earlier, but this pedal down here, this shifting pedal is that supposed to be how that is? It really needs, like, seems like it should be tighter than that. You know what I mean? Like,
but in all honesty, like the front and back situation feel pretty tight. I don't understand why the side-to-side action is like this. And at times, we'll be going up a hill, and I basically just tuck my foot underneath it so it stops going ding, 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 ding.
Oh, is that noise?
That's that noise.
Oh.
Yeah, I finally figured it out, so now I tuck my foot against it. There's another ding, 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 ding somewhere else in here, and I can't tuck that away. It's somewhere not in my vicinity, but I can still hear another strange noise.
Can you click the key on one position?
Key on. It's on.
Oh, it is on?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can push this button and everybody gets to hear the meep. Do it again.
It's in here.
I think it is. The horn is inside. Yeah, it's way louder in here than it is out there.
Okay, well, I've learned my lesson about that.
Do you want to share the name? Did you come up with a name, or are you still
The
pondering?
only name that I had was B, because, like, things that I thought are, the doors don't close very well. You know when you see the bugs and their wings don't go back in right and they gotta readjust it? Like, that's what I thought about the door. And it's yellow and black, and when the wind catches it, I really feel like it's gonna fly away.
The BTT?
BTT.
Is that what we're going with?
Tuk-Tuk. Yeah, BTT. Alright,
BTT! It's kind of fun.
Gotta take the parking brake off. Eric has scouted out an amazing spot for us to get some great pictures with the Tuk-Tuk by the Tokyo Tower. That's a lot of T. That's a BTT. That felt really good. But we're really hoping that no security guards come over here and kick us out. This video
I saw some people
now.
with little motorcycles over here, and they're doing exactly this right here. That's why I did it.
And we're somewhere between car and motorcycle. That's what we think. That's what we think. You got 3 wheels.
Do we park in the car parking or the motorbike parking?
It's tough.
We've navigated our way over to Tokyo Station, and that's another one of the famous landmarks I think we've got. And we've talked about this in past videos, but something I did want to point out is that driving in the city is something we never do, basically, ever. And I think we're getting in trouble. The police is here. Oh no, he didn't care.
When you have a Tuk-Tuk, everything is okay.
Yeah, the Tuk-Tuk is just like a special pass. Like the security guy's just looking at the Tuk-Tuk.
Wow, it's a nice Tuk-Tuk.
Nice Tuk-Tuk. So driving through the city can be kind of a nightmare because one-way streets like put you in places and you can't turn down this road, and like you can't tell sometimes on Google, like looking at the map, whether or not you can turn down a road or whatever. It can be nightmarish.
And once you turn down one road, you might not be able to make any left-hand turns until, it's just driving you crazy.
And I'm enjoying this day, but if I had to live this life and had to live in driving in Tokyo, I don't think I could deal with it. Like I'm thinking about like, man, the train certainly is nice right now. So like people who have cars here and use that as their primary mode of getting around, I don't understand where they're coming from, like as far as like patience goes.
Yeah.
Because the experience is pretty frustrating.
I'll let the train rule my life. That's fine.
Yeah, train life, man, train life. So as a passenger in this thing, I'm sitting on this like little bench seat back here, and there is no seat belt. There's nothing holding you in. So you kind of just like flip-flop all over the place. Like you don't have any like really way to hold yourself in place unless you're like holding onto these bars, which makes it feel kind of like a roller coaster. And if I'm sitting all the way over to one side and Katie goes around a corner quickly, I'm damn near concerned we're gonna slide over to this, like the whole thing is gonna tip. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of my center of back gravity is all off. So I'm trying to stay in the middle, but I'm just like sliding around.
It's really cute. The lady next door just waved at me.
She's like taking a picture.
I might be the coolest girl she's ever seen in 2021.
That's true. That's what Katie told the girl that taught us how to drive this. You're the coolest girl I met in 2021, setting the bar kind of high for the rest of the year. Can you see that? Did you turn off the blinking light? What about the party?
Turn it off. I don't really understand.
Yeah, leave it blinking, man. There's like a one LED strip that's like this long. I don't know why that's here.
That's party mode.
And I had something else to say about the back seat, but I can't remember what it was now. It's just, I wouldn't consider it the most comfortable place in the world. Something that's kind of fun is seeing the city through a different set of eyes that we don't usually see it through the road. I was complaining about that a minute ago, but you go around a corner and you're like, oh hey, I recognize that in a new way because you're coming at it from a way that you normally wouldn't come at it from.
I like seeing the Tokyo Tower come up on a different horizon, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I drove in the city, it was extremely overwhelming, but it was captivating at the same time.
And we are in a neighborhood that Katie used to work in, so she knows this neighborhood pretty well. And when we came in, we were both like, oh hey, we recognize that intersection or whatever. And we're about to go down a road that we have been up and down many, many times before. And it's really quite cool looking, so let's have a look. Startle you? Who was that?
I thought it was the other way.
Now that we have gotten to this side of the city and we are over where things are more populated, we're in the Harajuku area, Omotesando, and we're going to be in the Shibuya and Shinjuku area, this side of the city. There's way more stuff on this side of the city that's like especially moving on the weekends. And I was sitting here on this road that a minute ago I said looked really cool, and I'm starting to think that I like it better on foot because we're sitting in traffic and it's just kind of not moving that much.
I'm okay with that. Like,
yeah, I mean it's fine, but
I'm still driving a tuk-tuk.
I'm just sliding around in the back seat of a tuk-tuk.
Yeah, people were just taking pictures and I was just like, all right.
Feeling famous?
Feeling like a girl driving a tuk-tuk.
Fair enough. That's famous, right?
Coolest chick of 2021. Holy crap, look at that.
You number 2 now.
Yeah.
Alright, we're now in the Shibuya area, and there's a lot of stuff going on here, and we've already cruised through Shibuya Crossing one time, but the objective now is to try to get that cool shot of the tuk-tuk itself going through Shibuya Crossing. So, Katie has dropped me off, and I'm walking back to Shibuya Crossing by myself, and I'm going to set up, and then she's going to call me when she starts moving. And I've got this in my ear so I can answer it, and be like, yo, get this all timing set up thing, and hopefully get that cool shot. These people behind me are protesting, actually, and they're protesting like coronavirus stuff. They're saying it's like fake, or like don't take PCR tests, or don't wear masks, or whatever, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's a thing that's going on here, and it's kind of annoying. All right, so Katie came through Shibuya Scramble one more time, and if you're not aware of what Shibuya Scramble is, it is the famous place, like if you ever see like Japan mentioned on CNN or something, it's this area that they show with like 1 million people walking back and forth across the road. And it's where, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different roads intersect. And there's like a Starbucks up there that's kind of famous and stuff. It's just a really famous area. So it's kind of difficult to get a shot of a car coming through this intersection and have it look cool because of all the traffic. So the shot I made kind of came out like, it's not that great because you're just like looking through a bunch of other cars. So she's gonna give it one more go. If it doesn't work then I think we'll just give up. So as I wait, I get to stand here and listen to the protesting on this side of the road. And they have a blowhorn or whatever and it's all noisy. And there's people like, it's like, they're saying like masks are dangerous and stop COVID testing or PCR testing, and it's just like, don't you got something better to do? In better news, there's a Hachiko statue here. Hey girl!
Hey girl!
So the first shot was no good.
Oh, but if you kept it on me, you got to hear them honk at me excessively. It was so loud, like it was, maybe I was honking at myself. It was really, really loud.
And then the second shot was okay. It wasn't excellent because some people got in the way. It's just there's so much to plan for and so much chaos going on. It's really hard to get that shot to be cool.
It's the scramble.
But it's still a fun try.
Yeah.
When we lived on this side of the city, that guy took his half out of your half. When we lived on this side of the city, we would spend a lot of time hanging out in the Shibuya area, walking around, and we just had the opportunity to actually drive through one of the streets that we used to walk up and down all the time. We used to have actually a bike parking area that we would use right off that street, and that's what makes me think of. But it was cool to just roll through there in a tuk-tuk and feel dope, like, straight up. And we are on our way to a very important place that we had made a video about earlier in the year. That was this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was this year. And we'll hopefully see if it is still functioning because it is becoming an emergency for me. So these are these toilets that we came and we found earlier in the year when they had first opened. And this wall is supposed to be transparent, and then when you lock it, it becomes opaque, I guess is the word. Only it's not doing that anymore. I don't know why, but they have changed it or disabled it or whatever, and now it's not as cool. Not nearly as cool. Like I actually stood out there for a while because I was like, oh, like they're all frosted, so that means somebody's inside. And then a guy walked up and like looked at it kind of like, what is going on? And then he just like creaked it open a little bit and he went in, and I was like, what? I've been standing out here for like 3 minutes, 4 minutes waiting because I thought I was occupied though. Not so much. So I guess this whole thing failed. If you're wondering what I'm going on about with these transparent toilets, look up on our YouTube channel for the transparent toilet video. And we talk about this when it was actually functioning. I'd like to know the story behind why it got turned off, why they're not using it anymore. You can take your mask off.
Yeah. Although the mask is warmer.
Yeah, it's true. So something we've discovered about our little tuk-tuk friend here is that his gauges are questionable. We know for a fact that the speedometer shows that you're going way faster than you actually are, because you know how Google Maps can show you how fast you're going? They don't match up.
Google Maps says I'm going like 40 and it's like, you're in the 70s! Woo!
So he thinks he's a lot quicker than he actually is. What if no, I just checked. I was like, I wonder if it's miles or something, but no, it's kilometers.
Yeah,
so its gauges are all whack. And then we started to notice that the gasoline gauge was sort of bouncing around between middle and empty, but like kind of ambiguously.
Not in an accurate way.
Yeah.
And I just thought to myself, I don't want to end up being that person that like
has to get somebody to bring a bottle of gas to your tuk-tuk.
To my tuk-tuk.
I mean, that's probably the pure tuk-tuk experience, though. Somebody bringing you gas in a plastic jug.
No, I've done that on a motorbike somewhere else. I don't need to live that life here.
So we went to a gas station, and it was one of those gas stations where you pull straight in, like you're parking, and like not like getting gas, but like you're parking like at a convenience store.
That was really unique. Like they have parking spots for you to get your gas instead of a drive-through.
Then the pump comes down out of the sky, and then they fill it up for you. And I don't know, it's just something that I don't know if I've ever seen a parking thing like that outside of Japan, where the pump, like the thing just dangles out of the sky or whatever.
Oh, I've seen it. I feel like I have seen it. I've never seen that parking situation.
Maybe it's like a city.
That was
Maybe
interesting.
it's a city thing more than anything. But anyway, it was a cool looking little gas station. That's all I got to say.
And now we're off to Kabukicho, which I really don't know if there's any way that this tuk-tuk's gonna get up in there. But it's Kabukicho.
Most of it's closed off. You can't drive through it, can you?
I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
Just one of the shoppers. We've gotten to Chabukiko, is what I was gonna say. We've gotten to Kabukicho. We ran through some crowds in the car and had to drive really slow, but all I can tell you right now is this shit is so stupid.
This little Thai restaurant that's over here near where we were in Kabukicho, it's in Shibuya, Shinjuku. I get those two mixed up all the time when I say them. And it's actually a really good Thai restaurant. It's got like Thai style, legitimately Thai style, spicy, good Thai food. And we were gonna come over here and we were gonna have that for dinner. But kind of came by and looked at it, and I expected this to be the problem, but I wanted to verify it. There is just like nuts to butts people in there, and it's kind of a drinking place, so they're all drinking and they're all talking all really boisterously and stuff. And simultaneously, Japan is like sort of it's under a state of emergency, kind of, but their state of emergencies aren't quite what they are like in other places with lockdowns or whatever. But they're just kind of asking people not to like socialize in that type of scenario. So I'm not sure what we're gonna go do for dinner, because we wanted to do the Thai thing for the Tuk-Tuk thing, but it's not. I went over there and I was like, it's just too, like, I feel weird about that place. So we're gonna have to find something maybe they can do takeaway or something maybe. But honestly, it's getting cold. We're filming this in January. It's the third week of January. So the reason we filmed this was because the temperature got up to like 18 degrees Celsius today, which we saw in the forecast, and we noticed that last night. And we had been like, okay, well, that's a pretty warm forecast, so we're able to do this. That's why we booked everything, because the day was warm. But it's getting cold enough that eating outside what we ate earlier kind of sounds like a bummer. It would be nice to find some place where we could go inside and eat that wasn't like nuts to butts drunk people.
Yeah.
Like, which is pretty much my goal at this point. Or even if we gunned it home right now, it'll still be a couple of hours before we get home. So I think I would like to eat before we get home something, even if it's just convenience store food. I don't know how this is gonna roll out, but our theme might not work the way we had hoped.
Yeah.
I could ask him if he'll do mochi kyde. We could eat in here, but I don't know. It's kind of cold, man.
I think the temperature of my hands would decrease my enjoyment of the food.
Yeah. You just like shiver and like.
I don't mind that like my hands are cold and I'm driving, because I'm not even thinking about that. But like once you stop doing this adventure and you start doing something that you should have like good temperature for
sure,
then it's over.
So we need to find some place that has got like more of a less of a COVID-y vibe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you scooting off. This is video. You can keep looking at the camera.
What?
This is video.
Oh, it's a video.
I'm waiting for you to scoot away.
Did you have a good time?
It was great. It was very hilarious watching it pull my fat ass in that thing. It was.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Very fun.
A wild Eric appears. Hold on. I didn't know you guys know that song, and I appreciate that you do.
And now we're gonna peel out. You ready?
Do it. I'll be playing some Initial D. Oh yeah.
So we stopped by another friend's house on the way home, And he has given Katie a blanket, which has become necessary. It has gotten cold, let's put it that way. Like, it's fine if you're just walking around or if you're on a bicycle probably, but this is just the amount of speed crossed with the amount of no doors to make it kind of a cold experience in the middle of January.
But we are good to go. We are heading towards Kaminariman. Says it's gonna take us 34 chilly minutes. Okay.
All right, so we are back home and we have dropped off the tuk-tuk with literally 1 minute to spare. It was like right on the line. Not that I think these people were gonna be jerks about it. They were pretty friendly, so I don't think it was gonna be a deal.
We had to go to the gas station before going to Kaminariman as our last stop.
Yeah,
so,
and the gas station, there's not very many of them in Tokyo. For like, you drive quite a ways without them, and then a lot of them close at like 8 o'clock. So it ended up putting us into a place where we had to kind of go out of
our way.
But on the way back across the city, we did go by the Imperial Palace, which is really not a place to stop and see because it's not like very awesome looking from the outside. But you can see
the lighting on it looked amazing.
One area of it was lit up, like one of the castle walls was lit up. It looked really cool. And then we did the gas stop. And then we hit
cold, so I am cutting corners right now.
It's real. We're freezing because if you've been in that thing, I'm like shaking. And then we hit Kaminariman. And the pictures, I think, came out pretty good, but I took them like really fast because we were in a rush to get back. And I was thinking about this like on the way back in my frigid state, what my favorite part of today was. And it was just going and driving around Tokyo, to be honest.
Yeah.
The tuk-tuk was fun. It was kind of cute and like, it's like a novel way to get around, but I really enjoyed, we drive by something and we had a memory of it. It was like getting to relive like 10 years of being here.
Oh yeah, like we ate this.
Like, oh, we had our friend there, and we did this there, and this thing happened there, and like, and now every time I think of Kabukicho, I'm gonna think of that time that we parked a tuk-tuk there, and like, it was just cool. It was like,
it's like you got to relive your memories, and you also made some at the same time, which is really cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I don't know if we mentioned how expensive this was though. So we rented it for 12 hours, and it was like $170 or so, I guess, after it gets converted somewhere in there. So it's not cheap. Like, you couldn't just like be like, oh, I'm gonna do that for a grand old time.
And
but
I certainly think we got our money's worth for the amount of hours that we actually spent behind the wheel, which was all the hours.
Yeah, because I mean, you could rent like for half the money.
When we returned it to the guy, he was like, where'd you guys go? And we were like, we went here, we went here, we went here. And he was like, wow. And then he checked the odometer and he was like, oh, wow.
He said it was the first time he'd ever seen somebody gone that far in one day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did he happen to say how many kilometers?
I didn't hear if he did.
Darn, I should have asked.
Yeah.
But I also just didn't think about it. But now we're home and we have
finally got some food.
Trash.
But it's like 9 p.m. Like, we left the house at like 8:30.
And I am pooped.
Okay, we gotta go eat. I'm starving, man. This is dinner time.
And warm up.
Yeah.
Doors open. Check. Tacos and burritos. Inspires confidence.
So mic test. Mic. I have just finished. Can you hear me? You're watching something. I've just finished the rough edit for the Tuk-Tuk video. Mm-hmm. And we need to do the end bit where we do the self-promotion thing and do it with our faces, because that's how you're supposed to do marketing. And now we're marketing. Yeah, you're supposed
marketing?
to. Yeah, you're supposed to market with a pretty girl. So, like I did that one time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. My beard is getting kind of fierce. I think that this might mean that you
your beard
aren't as necessary. So this is just the end of the video where we like to remind people that liking and subscribing and commenting helps tell the YouTuber bots to send more people our direction, which is kind of the point of the video project and everything, to try to keep it all alive by getting more people in there. So that's kind of, if you can do those things to help us out, that'd be great. And we also sustain the whole video project by doing a Patreon campaign where we can offer perks to people and they can help us keep the project alive. So if you're interested in helping us keep the project alive, going down below into the comments or the description or whatever, there will be links to our Patreon page, among other ways that you can help support us, like through PayPal and an Amazon wish list and things like that. It should all just be linked down below. And
thanks to everybody at Patreon. You're just blah, 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 blah. Thanks, Patreon.
I'm just bringing it over here so you can fill in the blanks when I run out of ideas.
We also have an Instagram and a Twitter and
what's the new one?
Twitch.
The Twitch, where we're still playing Lolo.
Yeah.
If you've been with us for Lolo, it's been a good time. So if you're a Twitch person, come hang out there. And I think that covers everything. Now I don't know what I'm going to say in the voiceover under the final end card. Maybe I'll just leave it blank this time. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.